We are really grateful that tonight, in bipartisan fashion, with overwhelming majority of votes, we passed the American Relief Act of 2025. This is a very constant contact with President Trump throughout this process. Spoke with him most recently about 45 minutes ago. He knew exactly what we were doing and why, and this is a good outcome for the country. I think he certainly is happy about this outcome as well. Elon Musk and I talked within about an hour ago. And we talked about the extraordinary challenges of this job. And I said, hey, you want to be Speaker of the House? I don't know.
Government shutdown saga.
All right, we're back for the final part of our deep dive into this government shutdown saga. We've covered the political drama, the economic risks, the human impact.
Yeah.
It's enough to make your head spin.
It certainly is a lot to process.
But even amidst all this chaos, it's important to remember that there are potential solutions.
Okay.
History has a way of offering some valuable lessons.
Yay.
Even if those lessons involve repeating past mistakes.
Okay, so let's talk solutions. What are some realistic ways out of this stalemate? Is there any hope for a compromise? Or are we all doomed to live in a world ruled by political brinksmanship?
Well, one path forward involves finding some middle ground on spending priorities.
Okay.
Maybe there are areas where both sides can agree to some cuts while still protecting essential services and programs. Instead of this all-or-nothing approach, maybe a more targeted strategy could work.
You're talking about a scalpel instead of a chainsaw approach.
Yeah, exactly. It requires a willingness to negotiate in good faith.
Yeah.
To put the needs of the nation ahead of partisan posturing. Think about it. Finding a balance between fiscal responsibility and ensuring that vital government functions continue to serve the public good.
Okay, that sounds reasonable in theory, but let's be real here. Compromise isn't exactly the hottest trend in politics these days.
Right.
What happens if neither side budges? Are we doomed to an endless shutdown, like some kind of political Groundhog Day?
Well, if history is any guide, most shutdowns have been relatively short-lived.
Okay.
We're talking a few days or weeks, not months or years. The pressure from the public, the media, and even businesses tends to push both sides back to the negotiating table. No one wants to be seen as the Grinch who stole Christmas, especially during an election year.
It's almost like everyone's in a staring contest waiting to see who blinks first.
That's a good analogy. And while everyone's holding their breath, it's important to consider the long-term implications of this shutdown, regardless of how long it lasts. These political battles leave scars, even after the wounds heal.
Okay, let's talk about those long-term scars. What kind of lasting impact could this shutdown have on the country, on our institutions, on everyday people?
Well, for starters, repeated shutdowns can really erode public trust in government. It's like watching your favorite band constantly break up and reunite.
Yeah.
Eventually, you just stop caring.
And this cynicism can have serious consequences.
Okay.
It can lead to lower voter turnout, political apathy, and a sense that the system is rigged against ordinary people.
So it's not just about the inconvenience of closed national parks or delayed tax refunds. It's about the potential for lasting damage to our faith in democracy itself.
Yeah.
That's pretty sobering.
It is. And on the economic front, repeated shutdowns can create a climate of uncertainty and volatility.
Yeah.
Businesses become hesitant to invest and hire, and consumers start to hold back on spending. It sends a signal that the U.S. economy is unpredictable and unreliable, which can scare off foreign investors and weaken our global standing.
So it's a ripple effect that goes way beyond the immediate headlines.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder if this shutdown is just a symptom of a much deeper political dysfunction.
Yeah.
Like if we can't even keep the government running, how are we supposed to tackle the truly massive challenges facing the country?
Right.
Climate change, healthcare, income inequality.
That's a very astute observation.
Yeah.
And it brings us back to the role of citizens in a democracy.
Yeah.
We can't just sit back and watch this unfold like it's a reality TV show.
Right.
We need to engage in informed discussions, demand better from our leaders, and hold them accountable for their actions, or in this case, their inaction.
Okay, that sounds motivating, but what can we actually do? What are some concrete steps people can take to make your voices heard and push for change? It's easy to feel overwhelmed and powerless in situations like this.
You're right, it's easy to feel that way. But there are things we can do. First and foremost, stay informed. Read reputable news sources, follow political analysts, and make an effort to understand the complexities of these issues. Don't just rely on social media sound bites or partisan talking points.
It's like anything else, you need to do your research before forming an opinion. Don't just parrot what you hear on cable news or your favorite podcast.
Exactly. And once you've done your homework, Don't be afraid to reach out to your elected officials.
Yeah.
Email them, call their offices, let them know what you're thinking, what you're concerned about, share your perspective, and demand action. Remember, they work for us.
And if they don't listen, vote them out.
That's the beauty of a democracy. But beyond contacting your representatives, engage in respectful dialogue with others, especially those you disagree with. Listen to their perspectives, try to understand their concerns, and look for common ground. Building bridges, not walls, is crucial for finding solutions.
It's easy to fall into the trap of only talking to people who agree with us, but that's how echo chambers are created.
Right.
We need to break out of those echo chambers and have real conversations, even if they're uncomfortable.
I completely agree. It's a tall order, but it's worth striving for.
Yeah.
We can't let cynicism and apathy win. We need to believe in the power of our collective voice to shape a better future.
Okay, I'm feeling a little more optimistic now. Maybe there's hope for us after all.
Absolutely. This shutdown is a stark reminder that our democracy is a work in progress. It requires our active participation, our critical thinking, and our unwavering commitment to the principles of good governance.
Well said. So as this government shutdown saga continues to unfold, remember that you're not just a spectator. You have a role to play, a voice to be heard, and a responsibility to engage in shaping the future of our nation.
And who knows, maybe by working together, by demanding better from our leaders, and by fostering a spirit of constructive dialogue, we can turn this crisis into an opportunity for positive change.
That's a thought-provoking way to end this deep dive. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you on our next episode.